Hey everyone, before we get into this episode of Babblers, I do want to apologize. Unfortunately, I didn't realize it, but my audio was not recording from my regular microphone. It was actually recording from my webcam, and the audio is not really savable. It sounds like garbage. I seriously apologize. Nothing I could do about it. But anyways, here's the episode about Poképark.
Hey everyone, how you doing? It's your boy Shaheener coming at you with another episode of the Pokemon Babblers podcast. Of course, joined by the island tropical boy over here, Bano.
Yes, I'm sipping martinis or mai tais
Mai
on a
Tais
beach.
in the beaches of Alola, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I'm still stuck in squalor. I'm still over
Oh, what's
here.
this? What's this? Something just came up. Oh, look at that! It's a Lola
Hey,
Rattata. Yeah,
hey, look, it's your alter ego.
that's just me sipping peach in a Lola.
Oh man, you love to see it. And you know what? We also love to see a semi decent spin off game. And so this is episode 14, season 2. And we are talking about two games today because they're very hand in hand at this point. We're talking about Poképark Wii, Pikachu's Adventure, and Poképark 2, Wonders Beyond.
And it's also very auspicious because I believe the Pokemon Company announced Pokepark Kanto, or at least they trademarked it.
Yeah. So I think they trademarked that because basically the name is derived from like they had like an actual in person like theme park in a way, like a mini theme park. It was for a limited time in Japan, like in 2005, I believe. And so then they put out video games that are unrelated to the theme parks, and now they're bringing back the theme park thing, or at least have the trademark for it. So those things are separated from Pokepark, the video games. It's just an easy name, I guess. But yeah, it is exciting though. I mean, if they had something like that, I'll go to Japan to do that.
Right?
Yeah, microvlog in Japan.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Is the ad revenue going to cover it?
what ad revenue? We haven't made ad revenue. We're only at like 300 subscribers. Which, if you like what you see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so we can get ad revenue and go to Japan.
Right.
But yeah, so
Please.
yeah, that would be cool, but whatever. Also, when this episode comes out, it's gonna be January 1st. So happy 2024, everybody.
Happy New
So
Year.
yeah, hopefully 2024 will be fruitful for all of us. And definitely on the Shaheener channel, expect some stuff over there. But yeah, enough of the babbling in that sense. I don't know, that wasn't funny. I wasn't even trying to make a joke. But yeah, so Pokepark Wii Pikachu's Adventure came out on the Nintendo Wii, obviously. So in Japan, came out December 5th, 2009. In Europe, it actually came out before the US and Australia. It came out on July 9th, 2010. In Australia, September 23rd, 2010. And we got it last. And North America came out in November 1st of 2010.
That's
And then
surprising.
yeah, that's the first I've seen that. It was also re-released for the Wii U eShop in 2015 in Europe and Australia, in 2016 in North America, and then 2017 in Japan. Which also I don't understand, like what the release schedule, like why they would delay the eShop releases like at different times and not just release it all in one go. Also, putting it in Japan last is kind of strange.
It seems kind
So
of weird because like the last couple of games, it's like everything has been like re-released on the Nintendo Wii U eShop, and
yeah,
I kind of
exactly.
wonder if that was like a play. Like when did the Wii U come out?
Wii U came out in 2012.
Did it?
Yeah,
Okay, so that would have been 3 years after. I wonder if that was like a desperate plea for the people then for like, please buy stuff, please buy a Wii U, and please play it.
yeah. I think at that point they kind of realized that the Wii U was just kind of like a sinking ship, and so they're just doing whatever they can to like keep it afloat. And
Right.
so like even if that meant like bringing Wii games to have digitally, which is a really cool idea, and I wish that they would do that with the Switch or any kind of
Right.
virtual console. But I think with Switch Online, like there's no way, it's not going to happen.
What do you think if they did if Breath of the Wild? Well, I mean, not if it did, but if Breath of the Wild had come out earlier, and maybe we got like a mainline series game on the Wii, do you think it would have still would have done well, or do you think by that point it just died?
No, I think it was a dead dream at that point. And I think they realized that too later on, with the sales of the Wii U. I'm pretty sure with Breath of the Wild, like it was originally planned to just be Wii U only, but I think with how bad the Wii U sold and with the Switch coming up, they're like, okay, we're gonna mainly focus on Switch, and then Wii U's gonna be an afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I don't think that there was anything that they could have done to save the Wii U at that point. Like it was doomed from the start. And I mean, I love my Wii U. I love my experience with the Wii U. I know it's not the most popular system. I know I probably won't go back to a lot of the Wii U titles because they're ported to the Switch already. But it was really charming. It was nice for the time being. But it's like, yeah, it's like lack of third party support, and the first party games were kind of just mid at best, except for like Wind Waker HD, which is still just a port of a GameCube game. There's no like mainline Pokemon games for Wii U. Like I think the only Wii U Pokemon game that was out was Pokken Tournament, other than Pokemon Rumble U. So it's like, yeah, as a Pokemon fan, there wasn't much to it. Like I feel like Smash Bros is probably the only game to go back to at this point for Wii U. But even then, it's like it's not even the best Smash Bros game.
All right. The only thing I have on my Wii U that I always treasure is that I beat Breath of the Wild on it.
Yeah. My first playthrough of Breath of the Wild was on a Wii U because I didn't get a Switch just yet. Also, Xenoblade Chronicles X, I believe, is only on Wii U still.
Yeah, that's a game. I tried to get into it, but like there's just so much side content and stuff that I couldn't do it. And I definitely could not go back to it.
Yeah, it's just like, and it's also great as an emulation device as well. So it's like it can play pretty much anything from the NES or the Atari to the Wii U, which is really
But
cool.
what it did have was the portability, like the gamepad playing like. That was awesome because I was like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Hang on, let me grab my gamepad and go keep playing. Can't stop.
And it definitely was the inspiration for the Switch. Like it was definitely there were two ways about it. Like those were directly correlated in terms of like having that portability on a tablet-like device. I just think that the Wii U, like, it was a lot of cool ideas that they just needed to show. Like if they're trying to like sell the gamepad idea, they really need to make games that were like amazing for it, like people that would remember. Or things that people would remember, I guess. But it almost seemed like after the Wii, it was kind of like a gimmick. Like, it just seemed more like a gimmick. And also with the Wii U, I mean, I did a whole speech about this in college. Like, I did a whole, like, research paper why the Wii U was a failure and stuff like that. And so it's like, its placement in advertisements, like I think there was, like, a Target ad at the time, a Holiday ad. And so they're showing, like, the Wii games next to a Wii U. And, like, it was juxtaposed to imply that the Wii U was peripheral, that it wasn't like its own system, it wasn't the successor when it was. And so it's like a lot of that kind of stuff, just a lot of confusion about the brand, like why would they call it Wii U and not like the Wii 2, stuff like that. So I still don't understand what the U part is all about. Yeah, and if anybody knows about that, let us know in the comments. But but yeah, it's just like there's just a lot of things that they could have done better with it. But oh well. I mean, I'm happy with the Switch. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the next system, whatever that is.
Right.
Hopefully 2024. Because we need a better running Pokemon game. Yeah, so going back to Poképark Wii, it was developed by Creatures Inc. And the gameplay is kind of like a mix of like an action-adventure game with like a party game. That you're mainly going through an adventure as Pikachu, and that you'll be stopping every now and then to play these like very, very short mini games. Like they were definitely not as fleshed out as like a Mario Party game. Even though Mario Party games weren't that fleshed out, it was still like, it felt like a very bare bones, like this is my first party game kind of thing. And the game is based in the Poképark, as they call it, and this Poképark is different from the one in Poképark 2. They're both like areas called Poképark, but they're like, it's the same characters in both games, but they're unrelated. So I don't know why they have two areas called Poképark. Basically the player takes control of Pikachu, and they traverse through, there's I believe 8 different zones. And there's 193 Pokemon to befriend and encounter and play around with, I guess. But there's Pokemon through generations 1 through 4 in this game.
So they just cut an even 300 from Gen 4, or like up until Gen 4, because I think in Gen 4 it's 493.
Exactly. Honestly, at that point, like playing the game, like you don't need 493 Pokemon in this game. Like it'd just be way too much.
Right.
Because I mean, it's definitely more of like the second one is more so, but it's kind of more of like a story-driven game. So like you don't want to have too many characters in there. It's like imagine if you had like the Marvel universe and the DC universe, and you have to encounter every single superhero.
Right. So which I think as of now, considering this episode comes out later, with the Indigo Disc DLC, there are only 180 Pokemon that are missing from Gen 9, or that aren't attainable in Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, that's not bad that it's less than 200, but it's still like I mean, as we said before, every Pokemon's someone's favorite, so it's just sad to see Pokemon still omitted.
I think offhand, if I can remember right, the only Pokemon that's yet to be on the Switch now after all the DLC. I don't know all of them, but I do know it's the Elemental Monkeys. The Elemental Monkeys have not been on any Switch title.
Really? Huh.
Yeah,
I guess yeah, that sounds right. As sad as that sounds. Yeah,
right.
no pan
As of
stage.
yet, so this episode comes out in January, so we won't know till February. Crossing our fingers for something next year. Next year, we'll see. I mean, honestly, I'd be okay if a game didn't come out next year.
Silence in the background, just punching air.
Right? If a Pokemon game didn't come out next year, I'd be okay.
I'd be okay too. Yeah, because
Right
they need to spend time to work on quality content, or even like if they are working on a successor to the Switch, that they
now,
should be. Yeah, they should
nah,
really like let that breathe, let it be out, and so that way
right
the developers kind of know how to work with the system.
now, if they drop a Part Two DLC for Scarlet and Violet, I might be interested just to make it worth my time.
Yeah, that would. I think that would be okay, but I'm curious on like what they would do with a second part of the DLC.
Right? If they did a Part Two, are we gonna go somewhere? Because I remember when Sword and Shield had the thing, people were like going crazy about like Part Two, or like just the rumors and like crazy stuff like Emerald Forest, or like because all the catchy titles, Isle of Armor, Crown Tundra, and then it was like the Sapphire Spear or the Crimson Sword or something like that. I mean, honestly, I would buy it. I mean, obviously that's goes without saying, but I want it to be more character focused because obviously they can write characters. Somebody wrote characters in Scarlet and Violet. I just want them to do more of that. I feel like I said, I haven't said it yet, or I've said it like multiple times. I feel like there's still more they can do with the Scarlet and Violet people. There's still more to that story, and I'd really like to see them, finish it in a satisfying way, other than us just like, oh, here's Gen 10.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to see like one last adventure with Penny, Arvin, Nimona. That would
Right.
be cool because I really like that group of characters. Like Kieran was just whatever. I like. I mean, we'll definitely be doing an episode about all of Scarlet and Violet's like DLC and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, it was just like the characters. Like there were some that were really cool, but others were just like, whatever. I could take or leave.
Right. I feel like I'll save it for the video later, but I just feel like Kieran and Carmine, they literally like rushed their story. Like, whereas Scarlet Violet took its time from beginning to end developing them, you saw them every now and then, but because the DLC is the DLC, it was just like, we only have so little time, so let's just fast forward through their stuff. So that's why I kind of feel like Indigo just kind of just like fell flat.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I could totally see that. But
But Pokepark,
yeah, Pokepark. We're just like we're going in and out of like tangents and staying on the main track. So yeah, each zone has two different mini games called, or like one or two of them called attractions,
mhm.
because it's like a theme park basically. And the prize, at least when you're playing through the main game, the prize for winning or getting the high score is called a Sky Prism piece. And so we'll be going over the plot in a little bit, but that'll be at least something to note later on. Not like it's like super important, but it's a thing to remember, I guess. So over the course of the game, Pokemon can be befriended, and they can be used in the attractions. And so the way to befriend Pokemon is that there's different like little games they have in the while you're playing through. So they could either have you do like a quiz, or you play them in tag, which is called chase. You could battle them. Like there's very, very like it's more of an action based battling. So you could like
Mhm.
dash into them, or you could use a Thunder Shock, and later on you learn Iron Tail. And the stats for Pikachu will actually be increased as you go through the game too.
Oh, so you're enticed to play the attractions to get better.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's you're enticed to befriend Pokemon not only to have like an easier like playthrough of those to get a better score, but also if you want a better Pikachu, then you're going to be improve. You're going to be getting like berries and stuff, which is a currency to up its stats. So if you want it to be faster, or if you want it to have like a better Thunder Shock or something, then you are going to be like you're going to be upping those stats. Like you just got to allocate some funds for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, and like I said, the berries act as currency to play the attractions, and so depending on how far you are in the game and what attraction you're playing, the admission could go anywhere between 5 and 40 berries, which the last one is 40 berries. So yeah, and there are a number of different attractions, so we'll just kind of like briefly go over them. So Bulbasaur's Daring Dash is basically just a 100-meter dash. I actually have a Wii remote with me, so this is kind of relevant. I actually played Poképark on stream quite recently. If you want to check that out, I don't think the streams are up anymore, but if you want to check out my streams, twitch.tv/Shaheener, let's go. But excuse me. So Bulbasaur's Daring Dash, basically you're just shaking the Wii remote up and down like this, and it causes the Pokemon to go faster. You're just having the Pokemon run as fast as possible. And also when you befriend Pokemon, you can, and like I said, you can play as them, and so not all Pokemon are available in all attractions. And so there's like, and also each one has their own high score, like best time or like how many things you could defeat or whatever. And so it's like I went through the whole thing as Pikachu just because that's kind of like, in my opinion, it's kind of more like the litmus test of like, this is just like, this is where every standard should be based off of. Because if you're playing as like a legendary or whatever, then obviously you're gonna sweep the whole thing. But like I wanted like an honest test on it. So next one after that is going to be Venusaur's Vine Swing. So you're gonna be basically swinging the Wii remote, like shaking on the vines and pressing 2 to jump. So it's just like going like that, just like timing it properly, jumping from vine to vine. Pelipper's Circle Circuit. So you're tilting the Wii remote kind of like this to fly through rings, because every game has a ring flying game. Now Indigo Disc has it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gyarados is Aqua Dash. So you're racing in the water, you're tilting the Wii remote like this, and you're pressing 2 to dash forward. So it's just
Basically
all
Mario Party. They basically ported Mario Party controls because there's a lot of those that are just the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like very basic, like Mario Party stuff. It's like, oh yeah, that's like what a Mario Party game would be, but it's nothing too substantial. Yeah, there's other ones like there's Empoleon Snow Tide, so tilting the Wii remote to avoid obstacles. Bastiodon's Block Barrage, which is basically Breakout. So you're moving the character around and you're hitting these balls basically, and you're hitting them to knock out some crates or panels and stuff, wooden panels. Rhyperior's Bumper Burn. That's just basically, it's like the Mario Party 2 game with the bumper balls. You're just like moving the Wii remote around. You're knocking Pokemon out. Blaziken's Boulder Dash. So you're swinging the Wii remote to smash or deflect rocks that are thrown. It's kind of like, it reminds me of like the Mario Baseball, like the Wii Baseball. Like when the rocks get thrown at you, you're just swinging them. Tangrowth's Swing Along, which is basically the exact same as Venusaur's Vine Swing, but instead of it being vertical, you're horizontal. And so you just go like this, and you press the A button or the B button.
Now we're cooking.
Dusknoir's Speed Slam, which is the same as Bulbasaur's Daring Dash, but you're smashing through obstacles as well, so it's challenging. Ooh. Rotom's Spooky Shoot 'em Up. Basically, you're pointing the Wii remote to shoot ghosts. Absol's Hurdle, before they hit you. If they attack you, then game over. Absol's Hurdle Bounce, which is the same as Bulbasaur's Daring Dash, but with jumping instead of smashing through. I don't know why they rehashed it 3 times over, but Salamence' Air Ace, which is tilting the remote to fly around and destroying targets. And then the last one, which is Rayquaza's Balloon Panic. I had the most problems with this one, at least in terms of difficulty. You tilt the Wii remote to run through rings at first on Rayquaza Balloon, and then at the end of the balloon, you're pointing the Wii remote to shoot targets. So that one took me so long to beat as Pikachu, but I ended up beating it. There's 7 passwords in this game as well. So 5 passwords would unlock mythicals or legendaries to play in the minigames, like Celebi or Jirachi or Darkrai. But then there's 2 that allow Pikachu to be usable in a couple of the other minigames. So Pelipper's Circle Circuit and Gyarados' Aqua Dash don't allow you to use Pikachu because it's in the water or flying. And so that would allow Pikachu to be like Surfing Pikachu or the Balloon Pikachu. So you could use it there. And a random factoid, this is the only Wii game to be re-released on the Wii, or the only Pokemon Wii game to be re-released on the Wii U. So Poképark 2 didn't come out for it, Battle Revolution didn't come out for it, My Pokemon Ranch, like none of those games came out to Wii U, it was just on the Wii. And so we'll just go to the plot pretty quick because the plot is really substantive. Basically, what I wrote, so one day Pikachu, Piplup, Chikorita, and Charmander encounter a Mew. And for some reason, Mew pushes Pikachu into a hole in the ground that transports it into a world inhabited only by Pokemon. Worried for him, Pikachu's friends jump into the hole after him. And in a dream sequence while Pikachu's knocked out, Mew tells Pikachu that the Sky Prism of Poképark has shattered into 14 pieces and have been scattered all over the land, and that Pikachu must go through all the zones and clear the attractions to get Sky Pieces back. And once they're all recovered, Pikachu must battle Mew in the Sky Fortress or Sky Prism, whatever. That yeah, and just you're going through different ways to befriend it, like all the stuff that you've done before, like the quiz and the chase and battle. You're doing all that, but with Mew, and Mew is kind of like transforming into other Pokemon too. So like it'll turn into like a Tyranitar, and you have to battle then or a Garchomp. And so with those Pokemon, there are elemental things as well. So like if you're playing like doing battle against like a Garchomp, you can't use your Thundershock ability; it won't work. And so you gotta just like either tackle it, dash into it, or do Iron Tail or something. But yeah, that's basically what the general plot is. You're gonna be meeting Pokemon along the way. They're gonna have pretty much no personality. Well, actually, no, they do have a little bit of personality, like depending on the Pokemon. Like some of them might be more aggressive, like Sneasel and Meowth and things like that. Others are gonna be a lot more chill and cool, like Bidoof and like Burmy and things like that. I know we haven't like we're kind of like glazing over a lot of stuff, but honestly though, it's pretty fun. I mean, for like a basic game, like if you're gonna like it's just a basic good old fun Pokemon game, especially with how bad a lot of the Pikachu games were, like Hey You Pikachu and Pokemon Channel and stuff like that. This is definitely the best. Like this is definitely one of the better ones. I mean, I like two more than one, but this was still pretty decent. Like I had a good time with it. I played through it 3 times, I think, overall. Like I played it once on the Wii, I played it twice on the Wii U. But yeah, I honestly personally enjoyed this. It's not the best game in the world. The mini games are whatever, but I just like being in that world and being able to interact with the Pokemon, especially the skill games like Chase and stuff like that. I enjoyed them, but I know that it's not the most challenging game or anything. It's definitely a game set for kids, but I have.
It's something different. If they tried something different with this one, whether that worked or not, I don't know because I didn't play it. What was this? 2015?
No, 2010.
Oh, the first Poképark.
Well, for North America, it was 2010.
Okay, yeah. Then I was too busy playing Heart Gold or Soul Silver.
Oh yeah, of course, as you should.
With the Wii too, I only ever used my Wii to play like Coliseum XD, Skyward Sword, and I think Rune Factory was another one that I used it for. I didn't use it for many games like at all. Oh, and Brawl.
I played quite a bit of Wii games. Definitely Skyward Sword was actually the first Zelda game that I actually like played. I let's see. I definitely played Donkey Kong Country Returns. Definitely played Mario Party 8 a lot. I remember playing Mario Party 9 when it came out, and God, that was such a dumpster fire of a game. Definitely played a lot of Brawl. Played Battle Revolution a little bit. I just played a number of like the first party games. I don't know. I really liked my Wii, but it wasn't my favorite system. Like I liked the Wii U just a little bit more than the Wii, at least at the time. But yeah, I would give Poképark Wii like a 6 out of 10. Like it definitely wasn't the greatest game in the world. There's definitely a lot of things that they could have done to flesh out the mini games. But overall, it's enjoyable. Like it's something to at least look at, or if you have like nephews or nieces or any family that are like, younger, then it'd be good to play with them. Yeah, that should just be the title. It's like Poképark Wii.
It's fun.
It's fun. Okay, so Poképark 2, Wonders Beyond. So this one came out pretty soon after. So in Japan, came out November 12th, 2011. North America got it first before the other regions, I mean, other than Japan. So came out in North America February 27th, 2012. Europe, March 23rd, 2012. And Australia, March 29th, 2012. And this was also developed by Creatures Inc. And this is also, like I said, based off Poképark, but it has all new areas. There's, let's see, I think there was like 5 areas overall, like 5 or 6 areas. So there's the Cove area, Arbor area, Crag, Tech, and Arcane. There's a new area called the Wish Park, which is access to a special portal. We'll definitely be talking about that as we go to the plot.
I love portals.
This game is way more focused, though, on the story than it is on the attractions. The attractions, there's only like a handful of them. There's really like 4 attractions overall in this game versus 12 that were in Poképark Wii. Yeah, and so that's where really like where the differences lie on that, or at least some of the differences lie. So we'll just go over the attractions real quick. But basically they have Cake Contraption, which the first half of the game is basically whack-a-mole, where players have to shoot at nuts that were thrown at by
they shoot nuts. Yeah,
they shoot nuts.
I can relate.
Yeah, shoot nuts. Second half, you have to shoot through dough that Audino throws at you, and then you have to shoot again, then it turns into a cake somehow. I don't know. Dance Inferno basically is like Just Dance. You move the Wii remote and the motion of the icons at the bottom of the screen to dance. Better timing and accuracy grants a better score.
Or okay, so what are you dancing with, like with
They,
Pokemon?
there's a number of them. I don't remember exactly, but like you get to again choose a Pokemon that you've befriended or you play as Pikachu. And I
Okay,
think you're dancing with another Pokemon. I can't remember.
okay,
Yeah, then there's Power Bash, so players must knock out Pokemon by swinging the Wii remote and avoiding bombs. And then Flight of Fancy is the last one where you tilt the Wii remote to move and collect gems. It's it's nothing better than what was on Poképark Wii, really.
okay.
And since they're like a footnote in this game, like I kind of forgot that they were there. It seemed like that they're more focused on like befriending Pokemon and skill games and things like that. It definitely felt like there was more Pokemon in Pokepark 2. I don't remember how many Pokemon exactly.
I feel like when they did Pokepark 1, they put too many eggs in one basket. They're like, let's make an action adventure game, but also a Mario Party game at the same time, and let's see if that let's market that and see if like we can get like one of the bases to buy into that game. And then they took I don't know what the sales showed, but maybe they're like, okay, people don't care about the Mario Party aspect of it. Let's focus on the action adventure aspect of it.
And maybe a reason why they didn't care about the attractions aspect of Pokepark 1? No multiplayer.
Oh,
It was
that's
literally only single player on Pokepark 1. You know how stupid that is? It's a party game that's just one player.
Maybe they should have had like the attractions play less of a role in the single player, or they could have done that, but they could have added like a multiplayer mode. I mean,
they could have.
It's
They could
literally
have had
like
a
the same
menu.
umbrella. Like, just hey, Big Dad Nintendo, can we borrow the Mario Party IP?
Yeah, they could have. There were so many things that they could have done with it. Like I don't know who thought it was okay, or it's just maybe performance-wise they couldn't have more than 4 people on a screen. God forbid. But it's not like these are the most. It's not like you're trying to run Crisis on a Wii. It's Pokepark.
Right. It's also like it's the basis of the Wii. The Wii was like a family console. It wasn't an Xbox that was like your teenager or a PlayStation that was like for for the brother or sister or whatever combo.
The intellectual.
Yeah, the Wii was like a family console, and that was like the market. That was why Wii Sports was such a hit. And like the other edition, I don't remember what the other edition was. It was like Wii Family Resort or something like that they came out with.
Wii Sports Resort.
Wii Sports Resort that capitalized on it and made like so many more people like buy a Wii and like, oh, you got to do it because you got to do it and have like family night and play Wii bowling or play Wii and then do stuff like that.
God,
so
the Wii
I don't
was
know.
Such a great time, like when it came out. Like, dude, everybody had a Wii,
Right, and it's like
everybody, yeah.
Single player games have their place. Like Skyward Sword is a single player experience, but it's also like if you're playing in your living room, everybody's either A, watching, or B, will like pass by and be like, oh, like, what are you doing? There's never a moment where like a Wii is just sitting there by itself with nobody, like with just one person using it. There's always like some interaction with it. So I don't I don't think doubling down on single player was what they should have done for this.
Single player party games just sounds like.
Not to mention, Battle Revolution was like a multiplayer game.
Yeah, that one had multiplayer in it.
Right.
They dropped the ball with that idea, I guess. But they did fix it in Pokepark 2, so they did have multiplayer in it, at least on the attractions. But I think you got to go through the main story first, and then you get the attractions to play multiplayer.
Really? And there's only like 4? Do they port any of the ones from Pokepark 1?
No.
Okay, so what's the point of adding multiplayer?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just work here. So what's nice about this too is that you could play at least through the game not only as Pikachu but with the Unova starters because they're kind of your buddies in this one. So you can play as Snivy, you can play as Tepig, and you can play as Oshawott. And they all have their own. They all have their own. They have their own benefit basically. So Snivy has a higher jump or has a double jump. Tepig is able to crush through boulders, and Oshawott honestly is just kind of shit. So, I mean, it's kind of the worst
so it can
water
swim
starter.
And traverse all the obstacles of being water.
No,
There's too much water.
Oh, sorry, I was supposed to write Piplup that it was actually useful, and Oshawott was kind of just garbage, overrated. Just for context, basically like Bano and I have always debated on who was the best like water companion, either Piplup or Oshawott
In
from
the
the anime.
anime. Yeah.
And I'm Team Piplup, Bono's Team Oshawott, although Bono's obviously wrong. So
No, your Piplup has no honor. Has no
Piplup,
goddamn honor.
Piplup has panache, has style, has emotion. Oshawott is just a copycat.
Oshawott has honor. It's lovable. It's a
Oshawott has
it's
no
a
honor.
it's a space cadet. Oshawott has honor. All right, like a samurai.
Space, like a samurai.
Like a
You're,
samurai.
Gattaca!
Your toilet and your kitchen occupy the same space, just like a samurai.
I mean, like a samurai, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much the game. But let's go into the plot, because there's definitely a lot to go over in the plot. So, the game begins in a scene with Reshiram and Zekrom, and they have kind of like a foreboding that is befalling over Poképark, although Reshiram feels like that, like, things are going to be okay, but they're still like, things are going bad.
I gotta do this for
So-
Kyle. Reshiram.
Reshiram! So Pikachu and Piplup, both from the previous game, this is kind of like a direct continuation from the previous game. So they venture into a new Poképark where they're introduced to the Wish Park, which is a park where the fun never stops. They soon find out that the Pokemon there are actually trapped and can't leave.
Blink twice
So-
if you're being held against your will.
I didn't blink. Oshawott then comes to the rescue before they're stuck as well, but
Rescue.
Piplup ends up being trapped.
Like an
So-
idiot.
Oshawott basically intentionally kept Piplup in there, so that way it's just like it basically manifested the soul of Piplup, and now Oshawott's just
He's
kinda
like,
there.
he's like, I got you, and then Oshawott was
Yeah.
like, Nah, no, you don't.
Yeah, exactly. So in the Cove area, Pikachu and Oshawott team up to solve the Wish Park issue. They ask for Crocorock's help to find out how to open the portal for Wish Park, and once they're back in, they learn that there's wish bells that could bring them out of their trance. They ring the bell that lets the Pokemon free in the Cove area, but then decide to go over the other areas to warn the other Pokemon. In the Arbor area, they meet Snivy, who would rather go on an adventure than be the princess that she is. Queen Superior tells them that a story of a dark void that appeared when the Poképark and Wish Park are merged together. They then meet a Zorua who wants to find their friend Zoroark, who's lost in Wish Park. And after finding the Zoroark, basically the right hand, Gothitelle, and Piplup, they basically get approval to ring the Wish Bell. Like Gothitelle basically says, like, okay, you can ring the Wish Bell, whatever. And so they do that for the Arbor area, but Piplup decides to stay behind to warn the incoming Pokemon of the dangers of the Wish Park.
So this is like the Game of Thrones area. There's Queen Superior, which is obviously Cersei, and Gothitelle is the hand of the king, which is obviously Jaime. I'm just seeing a lot of Game of Thrones references here.
Wiener, 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 wiener. Let's see. So in the Crag area, the team meets Victini, who's looking for their friend Tepig, and they find Tepig lodged within a cannon, which, to get him out, that they ignite the cannon. And Tepig obviously is pissed off about that. He's like, why'd you ignite this cannon? Or why'd you pignite it? So Tepig battles Pikachu and then joins the team, tells them that there's a battle tournament that he wants to enter. So after entering the tournament, they battle against a Hydreigon, and after the Hydreigon's defeat, Haxorus appears while holding Victini hostage. They flee to Wish Park, and upon getting over there, they are confronted by the leader of the Wish Park, which is Darkrai. Yeah, so after ringing the third bell, they're allowed to escape, but Gothitelle takes Piplup as a collateral. So basically, Piplup is now held hostage with Darkrai and Gothitelle. So once back in Poképark, they
So
notice
Piplup is now Sansa Stark because she's being held by the Lannisters. Got it. Keep going.
So once they're back in the Poképark, they notice that the Dark Void is starting to form in the sky. They're also told that they should go to the Scientorium in the tech area to see where the poster portals are being manufactured. That's how they
Winter's
get
coming.
into...
Yeah, winter's coming. The sky is darkening. Got it.
So they're now in the tech area, and the Pokemon there are suspicious of the team, but open up after asking for help to fix a broken bridge. They get to the entrance of the warehouse, but find out that the Clink Clang family, which Clink, Clang, and Clink Clang, they could fix the broken Scientorium. They then meet the creator of the poster portals, which is Reuniclus, but upon hearing of the fate of the Pokemon in Wish Park, he becomes concerned for Darkrai, and repairs a portal in his lab so they could go to Wish Park. When the final bell is rung, the 4 Wish Park zones merge into one and opens a portal to the Wish Palace. That's where Darkrai is at.
Okay.
Inside the palace, a brainwashed Piplup attacks the team, and Darkrai then erases the memories of Pikachu from the Unova starters, so they don't remember Pikachu at all, and also sends Pikachu into a nightmare. Pikachu then regains the others' memories and challenges Darkrai, and when he's defeated, the Dark Void absorbs both of the worlds. And in this time, Reuniclus created a device that nullifies the Dark Void, but one Pokemon has to go down there to use it and will never be able to leave. So they're basically like sacrificing themselves. And of course, the one who do that is Darkrai basically realized the error of their ways. And they go there, sacrifice themselves to save the 2 worlds. And then Pikachu and the team then meet Reshiram and Zekrom and ask to save Darkrai. And after a mission for that, they succeed, and the day is saved. Everyone is okay.
All right, Jon Snow kills Daenerys because she's become the Mad Queen. Bran becomes the new king, who then pardons Jon but sends him back to the Wall, or the Night's Watch. So yeah, this is called Poke Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah, Poke Game of Thrones. It's definitely more enjoyable. I mean, especially with being able to switch up the Pokemon with going between the starters and Pikachu. I definitely think it switched it up. Like, you want to traverse the world more, and I feel like the worlds are a little bit more fleshed out than in the first Poképark. I personally liked Poképark 2 a little bit more than Poképark 1. If you're playing between either one, I would say Poképark 2 for sure, even though there's less attractions. I just had a better time personally with it. And I think that the story is just a little bit better, even though it is just Game of Thrones. Yeah, I would probably give this one like a 6.5 out of 10 if I'm going with half ratings, just to make it slightly above the original Poképark. Like, it's very good. It's still not perfect, and especially the lack of attractions, kind of silly. But I mean, actually playing through the game single player is really enjoyable. That's definitely another game that I would still look at. I mean, maybe play it, especially with family, like younger family. But yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I mean, here's where I'm coming from. I've never played it, obviously, so I have really no valid opinion on it. But if you're like scraping the bottom of like the Pokemon side game barrel, like you've played every single one of the we've mentioned, like you've skipped the Rumble series because I told you to skip it. You played XD, you played Coliseum, you're like, oh my god, great games, right? I said play Shadow Zalmia, skip Rangers 1 and 1 and 3. Like, oh my god, like Shadow Zalmia was great. Honestly, unless you're scraping the bottom of the barrel and you're looking for anything, I'd say skip it.
Yeah, it's really not worth playing unless you're just a hardcore diehard. But I remember being really excited for Poképark 2 to come out. I played it like right when it came out, and so
right. If you're like 10 and you have all the time in the world, then play it. But if you're like past 20 and you're starting to count, every second counts, I'd say skip it.
Yeah, maybe just look at it a little bit, but
watch
this is a game I definitely... Yeah, I want to go back and play it, though. I really want to go back and play it for the stream, because I played Poképark 1, and I promised I'd go back to 2. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they were enjoyable, but it's not like the greatest games in the world. But unless you have anything else to add, I think that's pretty much it.
There's a reason there's not a Poképark 3.
Yeah,
or basically. Who knows, maybe there is.
I don't think there will be. I mean, they could with the Switch and the Joy-Cons and stuff, but I just can't see it happening.
I think it's hard because it's an action-adventure game, right? And it's like, obviously you can't have every single Pokemon playable, right? But every single Pokemon is somebody's favorite. Somebody loves Maractus. Somebody loves Finian. I don't know who they are, but they do.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Right? So you can't, like this game, obviously you can only play as, like, I don't know how many Pokemon there were, but, like, you can only play as a handful of them. And then that means you have to come up with animations for every single one of them. You have to do all that stuff, I don't know, like, the viability of an action-adventure Pokemon game doesn't seem real to me, in the sense that, like, it would take vast resources to, like, get a roster of Pokemon, give them all animations, come up with a creative story, as well as, like, factor in how all the other Pokemon are going to be in the world and stuff like that.
You got to make it make sense still. Even though it's still Pokemon, you got to make the story make sense. You can't make it overwhelming.
Right. So, like, looking at, like, the wheel of, like, video games, like RPGs, point and click adventures, action adventure, beat 'em ups, Souls like, yada 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 yada. There's like I don't know. There's only like a handful that I could see that Pokemon like the Pokemon license actually working with. Action adventure, I don't think is one of them.
Yeah, it's like I think it could work if they made it better, but like, I would rather
Well,
stick
yeah,
with
like
like
what
an
would
RPG.
you do to make it better?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Right.
I mean, right now, like my brain is kind of frazzled, so
Right.
I
Same thing
honestly
with like
couldn't tell
Ranger.
you.
It's like, unless they come up with something huge, I don't, there's nothing they could do.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that they could have. I mean, this might be the best that they could think of, but even then, like, we don't need a Poképark 3. Like, we really don't.
That,
Yeah.
although that being said, I did see. I was thinking about it the way when we were talking about it earlier. I was like, obviously this is coming out in January, so post DLC spoilers. The Pokemon Synchro machine or whatever it is. You think that's like a testing phase for a potential Pokepark 3?
No.
Because you can use every single Pokemon. You can use any Pokemon on the Synchro machine.
I mean, I guess that is true, but I really don't think that they would. It's like that. I mean, there's a lot more things that you could do in Poképark than
I
than in
haven't
Synchro
used
Machine.
it, so I don't actually know what its
Yeah.
purpose is. But apparently,
Yeah.
you can use any Pokemon you want.
Yeah, I've seen somebody find a shiny when they're doing Synchro, and then they go over to find that shiny Pokemon and it's gone.
Yeah, it's
So,
gone. So I
so-
honestly don't see a point to it.
I don't see a
But-
point either. I think it's just something a gimmick, just a cheap little gimmick. But who knows?
Right.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Before we get too far ahead about Scarlet and Violet, because we'll definitely be talking about that maybe the next episode. Who knows?
Right, soon.
Yeah, soon. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you like what you saw, don't forget to subscribe or
Let us
tell
know
us
if
what
you
you
play
think.
Pokepark.
Yeah, if you played Poképark at all, tell us your thoughts about it. I want to hear about it because I feel like I'm one of the only few that played it that I know
Right.
of. So yeah, check you all later. Have a good one.